Ghosting a narcissist and leaving the relationship without a word might sound mean, cold, cruel, and frankly, narcissistic. After all, this is something that they so commonly do to others, right? But it is vital to do so, to make sure that everything ends, the relationship, the friendship is over and done with in the best way possible for you. Believe it or not, doing this benefits you. And today I'm going to be discussing what it really means when you ghost a narcissist. And we all know ghosting, right? You're talking and texting, dating, chatting, video calling every day, all day long, and poof, this person is no more. They're gone for hours, days, weeks, sometimes longer without a word. You might even see them chatting with other people, posting on other people's social media, but they're certainly not talking to you. In fact, they pretty much consider you non-existent. Clearly, this person isn't interested in a relationship or a friendship any longer, but they've offered no explanation, no closure, and no nothing. Ghosting, however, is quite different from no contact. They're similar in the way that they are performed, but they mean two entirely different things. Ghosting is done as punishment. This is what somebody immature, narcissistic, and toxic does when they just don't want to deal with you. It's a cowardly way to just be done with something. They don't have that exit interview. They don't tell you what's wrong. Again, you get no closure, no conversation, no goodbye, and everything feels very uncomfortable and unfinished. And that's the way that people who are narcissistic like to leave things, very unresolved, unfinished, so that they can come back later and hopefully pick right back up where they left off. But when you go no contact, you're also not having that exit interview. You're not having that conversation. But no contact is what has to happen when you can't sit down and have a conversation with this person about what's happening and what's going on. You cannot have that conversation. Leaving silently has to be done. And there are several reasons why you can't have that exit interview. You can't have that conversation. The first one is love bombing. If you sit down with this person and say, listen, this is not working. Things are not going the way they're supposed to be. We fight all the time. You say whatever you need to say as you prepare to leave. Out of nowhere, the narcissist may decide they're going to love bomb you. They'll say they love you. They might propose out of nowhere. They might say, let's get married. Let's move in together. Some grand gesture, some form of future faking. They'll beg, oh no, please, just give me one more chance. Again, a lot of promises to change. I'm going to be better. You'll see. Just give me one more shot. And if you sit down to have that conversation with them, like I know we all so badly want to do because we're an adult and it's the right thing to do, you can, in some cases, get sucked back in when they decide to love bomb you or to beg you to stay in the relationship. And that is one of the reasons why the conversation cannot be had. You just need to walk away because there are a lot of possibilities that they can exercise to try to lure you back in. Crying and playing the victim is also another thing that they might throw out at you if you sit down and try to have that conversation. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I told you I was changing, but change doesn't happen overnight. You're not being very patient with me. You're blaming an awful lot of this on me. You don't do everything right either. I can't believe this. Where am I supposed to go? What's going to happen? On and on and on and on. And they might blame shift. They'll guilt trip you, make you feel terrible about things, make you believe a lot of things are your fault. They're gaslighting all throughout all of these things, love bombing, begging, playing the victim, everything else. They're gaslighting you, purposefully creating confusion and flipping things around back on you. And before you know it, if they cry enough, if they play victim long enough, if they beg, then you'll stay. Another thing that they might do is lash out in anger. They might decide they're going to be violent towards you. They might decide they're going to destroy your property, throw things, yell, scream, this, that, and the other, and lashing out and being extremely temperamental and just hot under the collar because they might not be ready for you to leave. Chances are if you sit down to try to have that conversation with them, it hits them out of nowhere. This is something straight out of left field for them, especially if you've never said anything about leaving before. This can cause anger and all kinds of really unattractive qualities you're going to see just come oozing out of this person. And in a lot of cases, it works. A lot of times it works. And we end up sitting for another round of abuse. If you'd like to talk one-on-one about what you're going through or what you've gone through in a toxic relationship, and you want to talk about things more in depth and get a little bit of help and maybe some tools to get you going in the right direction, you can always send an email to bookachatwithjess@gmail.com and set up some private chats with me. But going no contact is not, in fact, ghosting. No contact is for you, not to punish the narcissist. Ghosting is to punish somebody. I don't like you. I don't want to talk to you. You're going to sit here and think about what you did while I go and move on with somebody else. You sit here and wait for me. No contact is still going to feel mean. It's still going to feel wrong because we know that it's not the right thing to do. But you are not dealing with somebody who mentally thinks like an adult. You're making this choice for you to be done. You need time away. We all need time away from these people. We need gaslighting to fade. We need to start remembering a lot of things that maybe we have lost track of or forgotten about because we've been so heavily gaslighted. We need time away to be able to organize our thoughts, to feel better. We have to make that choice. And because we know that we're dealing with somebody who's not mentally capable of handling these things like an adult, they're not mature enough. They don't have enough interpersonal skills to be able to handle a conversation. We cannot have it. It is dangerous. Again, they love bomb, they devalue, they blame everything on you, they lash out. They might hurry up and say, well, I'm not going to let you do this. You're not dumping me, I'm dumping you. We don't really know what could happen. It's honestly the best thing to just walk and do absolutely nothing at all. You can't have a conversation. They don't want you to walk away. They're not done with you until they're done with you. They need to be right. They need to be the one who breaks up. They need to be the one who wins. They need to crush you and already have their new supply ready to throw around in your face. You are not trying to accomplish any of those things. You are recoiling, stepping back, going no contact, and taking some time to heal. You've been treated poorly, traumatized, devalued, brainwashed, gaslighted, and as painful as walking away might be, especially with saying nothing and leaving everything so incredibly unfinished, unresolved, and up in the air, you need time alone. Here's the thing. When you walk away and go no contact, hell, even when you're ghosted, that is a lot of closure. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to deal with you. Things are over. That's all the closure you need. You don't really need to know why. You don't. We don't need to know the why. We don't really need to know anything. They're not interested anymore and they're moving on. When you go no contact, you don't need to sit down and tell a narcissist why you're leaving them. They know. They're incredibly self-aware. They know what they're doing. You don't have to have an interview about it. You don't have to say, well, here's why I'm unhappy. They know. You can get your closure on your own. You know that you've been treated horribly. And I know you want to do the right thing, survivor. You want to be the adult. You want to do the right thing, but you cannot risk getting sucked back in. You just cannot. It's too dangerous. You could get hurt. You're going to go for another round of abuse that frankly is just unnecessary for you to have to deal with because it is going to be the same thing over and over and over. And when you cannot do the right thing, which is have that conversation, going no contact when you are dealing with somebody who behaves this way is the right thing to do. Remember, you don't actually owe them a conversation. You don't have to sit down and say, well, on November 21st, 1802, you did this, this, and this. They know. They know what they did. They don't care. They just want to know that you're going to stay. They just want to know that they have the power and the control. And when you go no contact, you take that away from them. You are no longer giving them access to you or your life or anything else about you or anything that you provide. This is not ghosting. This is a choice that you are making when this person has left you no other choice. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.